Hey, before I get into today's tutorial, thank you guys so much for bringing me to 100 subscribers. Huge milestone, and I'm thinking about doing a special video. Comment down below what video you want that to be. I already have one in mind, but I mean, I could change my mind, I have no idea. Anyway, today we're going to work on consistently getting the card catching fan, thumb fan kind of move, which looks something like this. Anyway, I know you guys didn't come here to hear me talk, so I'm going to get straight into the tips. I have a lot of them for you, and I think they'll really help. I'm using the Eye Catcher deck. It's strange that I'm using this deck for this move because it's probably one of the worst decks for this move, actually. But besides that, everything else about this deck is really good. It's really thick, and this is what I mean by it's bad for this move because the cards have to be kind of thin in order to be caught in the fan, if you know what I mean. Like, the thickness of the edges can kind of hit the other thickness, you know what I mean, and make the thickness just not work. You can't be that thick in order to do this move. That's one of the first tips that I have for you, so definitely get a thinner deck. Crush deck would be nice. So you're going to need to know how to do a thumb fan, and if you don't know how to do it, I'm not going to teach you in this tutorial. That would take way too long. I'll leave a link right up there. I am going to teach you how to flick the card up in the air like that. Some people just, whenever they do this move, they just throw it up like a frisbee, you know, but I kind of prefer just flicking it this way. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah. Okay, so what this move looks like is you are supposed to hold a card like this, in between your index finger and thumb. Your finger should be close to the bottom half of the card. Next, you're going to use your index finger to pull back on the card so it's on the fingernail of your thumb. Just like this. It should be kind of towards the bottom of your fingernail too. That helps. And what you do is you just build up tension by pressing down with your index finger, and you can see that the card is actually starting to bend. And what you do is you're just going to release that pressure, and your index finger is just going to flick away, and without the card it just looks something like that. It looks kind of like an airplane just taking off, and it should just flick out like that. Alright, so first of all, you need to have the card hit the fan somehow. You need it to catch in the fan. And the first step is making the fan contact the card midair, right? And this part can be kind of tricky because the fan is thin. And you might be wondering, well, how in the world am I supposed to catch a card mid-air in a thing that's this thin, you know? Well, there's a technique that I came up with. No, I didn't actually come up with it. It's probably already up there. But what I usually do to make it catch in the fan is whenever I flick the card up, notice how it's coming down. Sorry, let me back up. Notice how it's coming down at an angle. It's not just going straight up and straight down. It's coming sort of out, back in, like a boomerang. If you've mastered this flick, then you obviously know what I'm talking about. Once you have it flicked up in the air, it should be coming down at an angle. And instead of just keeping this fan still and hopefully making it come right into the fan, and once again, notice how it's so thick that it's hard for me to put the card in. So I think I might change my decks sometime in this video just so I can do the move easier. Whenever it's coming down, you want the fan to be about waist level, actually. And why I say that is because when the card comes down, it should be coming down close to your chest level, okay? And once it's about at your chest level, you're going to bring the fan up in sort of this motion of moving it closer to your chest and also higher up. Why I say that is because whenever it's coming down, if you move it this way, as the card is in this sort of zone of the fan. Bear with me, this is kind of confusing, but I'm not a physics, science nerd, so I'm not going to get all these words correct. But whenever it's coming down, you want it to be sort of in the range of 3 inches here of the fan, okay? This is an awful fan, by the way. It's going to be coming in the zone of the fan, and what you're going to do is you're going to come in with the fan so it sticks in. Just like that. That simple, right? Well, this is what brings us to another problem that you might have, getting the card to actually stick in the fan, not just contacting it and falling out like it's super hard to do with this deck. And that's why I say move the fan up as you move it this way. So you're going to be moving it at kind of a 45-degree angle closer to your chest. Oh, look, I did it. Boom. With this deck, you're going to be moving it up. So whenever the card is coming down, you're going to be making another force with the card coming down. So it's double force. So the card kind of sticks in it harder. The card's going to be coming down at a speed, alright? And if it just comes down at that speed, it's not going to stick in the fan. It's just going to kind of hit it because it doesn't have enough power to stick in between two cards, right? If you get more power on the card coming down, then it's going to stick in the fan. But oftentimes you're going to have a short ceiling and you're not going to be able to shoot the card up super high so that it's coming down at a really high velocity to stick in the fan. So you're going to need another force. You're going to need the fan coming up. The fan coming up to make a double force for the card sticking in the fan. Also, I remember I almost forgot that there's one more tip I need to tell you. To hold the deck not so tight with your thumb and your index finger, because often I will do this myself. I pinch the deck too tight because I think that if I hold it too loose, then the cards will all go out like that. But really, you can hold it a little bit lighter than that, and what this does is just relieve a bunch of tension on the cards so that the card can just slip in nice and easy, just like that. I think that's all for today's video. Kind of a short one, but I'm glad I got something out there for you guys.